Behind the Shades.
Lena, take us from the beginning in regards to how you felt when you became fully aware of your situation. What was going through your mind at that point in time?
When as the situation are you referring, like when I was a child and I was like raped for the first time, or when I end up being trafficked and then realized that I've been trafficked?
Well, let's take us from the childhood and seeing what you saw within your household, and then which led up to you being somewhere totally different.
That's cool. Yes, there's actually been moment, and when I start writing my book, I actually start writing since I was 6 years old. That's where I remember myself first, I believe. So when I was a kid, actually everything looks normal from outside in our family. My parents had work and we have pretty normal upbringing and stuff, but they struggle and they married since beginning, but they were hiding from the kids. But then the unrest in 91, so I was 11 years old when Ukraine decided to separate with Russia. And that's what right now, all this unrest with the war, I do believe it started long time ago. It's just like bombing and stuff right now. It's happening right now. But in 91, we like when I was born in USSR, but I was born in Ukraine. So Ukraine decided to separate. So there was like so much unrest and inflation and all this stuff. So when the marriage wasn't strong with my family, so on top of what's going on in the world and with the paychecks, everything kind of add to this mess. And my parents just fall apart. Right now, I do understand them and I have compassion for them because now I know how hard is to have a marriage, how hard to have 3 children, how hard is to work and still keep up with the chores. But if you add to the part like you don't have a hot water, or if you don't have a paycheck and you still have to feed those kids, or you're not happy with the marriage with your partner, so everything, and they didn't have a support too, so now looking back, I understand why they acted the way they did. And then drug abuse and the alcohol come in the mix. I do understand they have to work on themselves and get them through this struggle. So the kids kind of end up being collateral damage, I would say. So that's why when I was 11, I saw a huge shift in my family. Everything went like from bad to worse and really fast. Everything fell apart and then they divorced and they went like on drugs. And it felt scary because I remember I was like a kid, I was loved to exploring and felt those like joyful moments, and I was playful, and even I was really good at school. I was a student and I was thinking I'm gonna be a police officer. But then when my parents started drinking and party and allowed us to do whatever we want, when they want it, how they want it. So I actually got start being picked up by the police and being beaten by the police and thrown in jail and all this stuff. So I changed my mind. So about being police officer, because first of all, I got disappointed. And the second while, I'm just thinking like, you know what, that's not where I want to be because I'm already a bad guy. So that was rooted in my heart that I'm not a good person because the good kids not end up where I end up. But then I look other families and I saw their parents doesn't do that. So how come like my parents don't feed us or dress us? And so I was going through that stuff. But I think the worst part, and that's why I hate my father especially for a very, very long time, because when I was dragged for the first time from my house and my father was so drunk, like literally they knocked the door, they pulled me out of, and I saw my dad was sitting in the chair and he was so drunk, but he said, take her as long as you don't bother me. And I honestly, it just killed me. I'm thinking, what kind of man are you? And I was like 14 years old. I just turned 14 years old. So that's definitely traumatized me. And then over the years, when I had the baby, that was another huge level to kind of like kick to my identity as who I am, because I'm kind of submitted to the fact this is my life and nothing I can do about it. But when the baby was born and I saw her pink body after delivering, I was in so much shock that there's the baby and it's alive and it was wiggling and make noises. And I have like goosebumps all over. I hope I'm not gonna break down crying. But I was laying on the table with her beside me and thinking, like, how I didn't know that she was there, because I still been drunk and raped and all this stuff. So I'm so thinking that she was in me while this all going on was like, I felt like so responsible for her life. So that was another layer of this guilt, shame, and condemnation. And especially when she passed away, it's yeah, it's almost like killed me, like emotionally, because my head was just saying those negative like thoughts that I killed the baby and I'm like drug addict and nobody's care. Like it was so evil that it's like literally would give me migraines, my negative thoughts about myself and what I am and who I am here. And then when I end up in the like brothel, it was like kind of almost, I don't think like I kind of like was defeated by life, but I still saw it's kind of progression. And I'm not saying, guys, that like if you like drinking, that's where you end up and all this stuff. I'm just saying that it was like inevitable almost for me to get into that trap, because I'm like, I have like all these check marks, oh, substance abuse, the family unrest, like, oh, alone, nobody cares. So actually, when I end up in Israel for 3 months, they did not allow me contact home. Just they vetted me, make sure that I gonna be submissive and obliged by the rules and whatever. So for 3 months, nobody looked for me. So if I would die, wherever in transport or disappear somewhere, nobody would look for me. Nobody even know what happened to me. Nobody even like would ask, like, where's Lena? By the way, did you hear from Lena? That's how like absurd right now for me, because I have my own children, to think that the parent does not even think that this is happening. That was one part. I was really upset that this is they don't even care, to the point that they don't even know if I am alive.